My name is Yash IOC. I attend Seoul Foreign School in Seoul, South Korea. I'm completing the IB English Literature and Language Individual Oral Commentary at higher level for the May 2014 exam session. The passage I have drawn is from Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare. The extract begins with "Still so cruel" and finishes with "Punish my life for the tainting of my love." Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare was written in around 1601. The title Twelfth Night is linked directly to the idea of festivity and celebration and is a reference to the 12th night of the Christmas celebration or Epiphany. In this time period of Shakespeare, the holiday was celebrated as a festival in which everything was turned opposite, much like the upside-down chaotic world of Illyria in the play. This comes into context with this passage especially because this passage is the beginning of the unveiling of all the characters' true identity. The play incorporates three major themes: love as a cause of suffering, the uncertainty of gender, and the folly of ambition. Shakespeare incorporates the theme to add an element of tragedy to the romantic and comedic nature of the play. Firstly, I will be discussing the characterization of Duke Orsino as very angered and jealous through this passage, as well as the nature and the relationship between him, Olivia, and Viola. Next, I will discuss the characterization of Viola as affectionate towards Duke Orsino, yet hostile towards Olivia. Thirdly, I will discuss the characterization of Olivia as upset and confused. Finally, I will discuss Shakespeare's indications and how he uses hyperbole to add to the comedic impact of the passage. And in conclusion, I will talk about why this passage is significant to the rest of the play. Shakespeare positions the audience to see Duke Orsino as a man of anger and jealousy, as he foreshadows Duke Orsino's more passionate and unforeseen side. Duke Orsino starts the passage off by calling Olivia cruel, and in line 3 he repeats it by calling her an uncivil lady. This shows the use of negative diction to show that the Duke is upset and angry towards Olivia. Shakespeare also uses hyperbole, as Duke Orsino says, "To his ingrate and unauspicious altars, my soul the faithfulest offers hath breathed out," which means he has breathed out from his soul the most faithful love, which the audience knows is a lie, as at first he was only in love with Olivia for her external beauty. This also creates humor, as the audience can tell Orsino's lies and have knowledge over him. In lines 9, he says, "Like to the Egyptian thief at a point of death," which is an allusion. Egyptian Thief is an allusion to a novel by Heliodus, in which the robber chief, threatened with death, tries to kill the woman he loves to prevent her from being taken by others. In line 10, Orsino says, "Kill what I love, a savage jealousy." This translates to he should kill Olivia from jealousy, and the use of the two dashes between love and a savage suggests that Orsino is finding it hard to say these words, as he is overcome by emotion and needs to pause and find the correct words, because he can't believe he's actually saying this. Duke Orsino then goes on to say, "Savors nobly and non-regardance cast my faith," which show positive and negative diction together, showing his tumultuous nature of mind. He calls Olivia cold-hearted by saying marble-breasted tyrant, and says he will take Cesario from her cruelty and manipulations, as he says, "Him I will tear out of their cruel eye." However, he shows concern and love towards Cesario by calling him a minion, which means darling, and says, "Lamb I do love." And the lamb is a personification towards Cesario, but he uses positive connotation here, as a lamb is a non-deadly and lovable creature compared to the raven, which he compares Olivia to. The reason Shakespeare uses the word raven to personify Olivia is to show how, at this certain time in the play, Duke Orsino thinks of Olivia as a very evil creature. Next, Viola declares her thwarted love for Orsino and love melancholy more directly than ever before in lines 23 and 24. Shakespeare also uses the words rest and die, which are English Renaissance terms for sexual climax. Hyperbole is used here as well, as she says she'd die 1,000 times for him. Viola has an apologetic tone in her lines, as she seems to be showing respect to Orsino and care to him by using words such as jocund, apt, and willingly, which means happily and readily. This shows that she is indeed in love with him. Additionally, the issue of homosexuality is raised in this passage, as the characters still think that Viola is actually Cesario, and they don't know that she's a woman. This leads to the question as to why a man is declaring her love for another man, and as to why Orsino is also showing love towards Viola by calling her lamb and lamb that I do love. However, the issue of homosexuality is not treated, is not treated with unusuality, and I think this is because the quick progression of events prevents dwelling on this issue, and as well as that, in the next couple pages, it's all going to be revealed, the true identity of the characters. Moreover, Viola shows hostility towards Olivia by saying, "More by all mores than ever I shall love my wife." At this stage in the play, Viola is supposedly married to Olivia, and by saying this, it shows humiliation towards Olivia. But this humiliation is transferred into comedy for the audience, as they find it funny that Olivia has been portrayed as very elegant and very glamorous throughout the whole play, but at this certain time in the passage, she is being neglected by both the characters. Viola also says, you witness above, which means the angels in heaven are her witness, which shows how pure her love is to the audience. Olivia's lines are very short and unenergetic, as she is cast off by both other characters, Duke Orsino and Viola. Olivia is usually very talkative and sets the atmosphere in her scenes, but in this passage she is portrayed as very dull and non-important. This shows how the nature between the three characters has developed poorly for Olivia, but greatly for Orsino and Viola, as Viola's love for Orsino has come out, and Orsino's has almost come out. Finally, Shakespeare creates confusion through the whole passage. He doubles the elements to provide humor, as he blends tragedy and comedy together. He uses bizarre and exaggerated speeches to articulate Orsino's weird lust for violence and Viola's apparent death wish. This recedes into the background amid the general rejoicing that follows in the near future. Shakespeare suggests love is so near violence as well, that Orsino and Viola can easily tip over the boundaries and into insanity, where Orsino becomes a killer and Viola becomes a sacrificial lamb. Additionally, Shakespeare uses a semantic field of body parts, from heart from line 8 and eye from line 18, from the same speech to help exaggerate the effect of Duke Orsino's speech, as this helps with imagery and gives a more visual impact. He also makes Duke Orsino's speech rhetoric about his jealousy, making his speech cliched like many of his other speeches in the play. As well as this, Duke Orsino seems to be playing a part rather than feeling actual emotion, as he has done throughout the play as well. This is funny to the audience because the exaggeration in the speech makes Orsino seem too emotional and makes Orsino come across as feminine. In conclusion, the main source of humor and comedy from this passage comes from the audience having an upper hand on the characters and already knowing what's happening and what's happened, while the characters are in heavy confusion, which puts the audience in a higher position and they can laugh at how clueless and confused the characters are. This passage is significant to the rest of the play because this passage shows how the nature of the relationship between Orsino and Viola is becoming closer than ever before, as Viola has admitted her love for Duke Orsino and has admitted that she does not love Olivia. This is a big surprise to Olivia, as she is shocked and believes her new spouse is betraying her when she says, "Where goes Cesario?" In addition to this, Duke Orsino is in a very confused state, as he is talking about killing Olivia, despite the betrayal that he thinks Olivia and Viola have caused him, and he also thinks about killing Viola because he wants to give pain to Olivia. The tension builds up in this passage, and this suggests that in the near future the characters will be revealed, as this is also in Act 5, which is the last act of the play. Thank you for listening to my IOC, and I hope you enjoyed it.